Hey, my name is Steve. I'm with Premier HVAC Mechanical here in Peachtree Corners, Georgia. We service the Northeast Metro Atlanta area. Just want to do a quick little video on what we include on a full install as far as the interior section of your home, which would include your furnace and coil. If it's a straight AC outside or dual fuel outside with a furnace indoor. So I just want to go over some of the differences. So I've got this one. This is our Carrier 80% furnace. Single stage unit. Typically when we do a full install, we try our best. Sometimes we can't because we're limited on height specifications or limitations, but we try to replace the drain pan on every change out because your old drain pan gets rusted and they can leak, so it just makes sense to, as you're doing it, to just change out everything. We also put the furnaces on top of blocks. If you'll notice these white foam blocks at the bottom. That serves a couple of purposes. One, it helps with vibration. Those serves isolation barriers to help vibration of the furnace. And it also keeps, I'm going to take this panel off right quick just so I can show you the difference. So when you raise these furnaces up on blocks, which is the main reason I do it, is because when you take this panel off right here, your blower motor is directly behind it. So, and I've got a Goodman furnace set up over here to show you the big difference. But if this furnace was sitting straight down into the drain pan and it did not have these water safety switches, then if your water gets in your drain pan, then your blower motor has a tendency to pick up that water and sling it up into your controls. So it can make you have it can short out your blower motor and also your furnace control board. Now you got two big issues, high dollar items that you have to replace, all because it was a poor install. And I say poor install because to me that's just a no-brainer to do. Of course it's cheaper to do it the cheaper way, but it can save you a lot of money in the future. And to add a drain pan after the system's been installed, it just doesn't make sense. So we also include two water safety switches, not just one, but two. One on the upflow coil up top. So if the drain lines were to get clogged, it would raise that flow switch up there. We also put one in the drain pan down here. So you have two safety devices for water. What that does is that shuts off the outdoor unit so that it can't produce water anymore, so it can't overflow the system. Also comes with a Honeywell T4 programmable thermostat that we set up for each individual system. We also, because this Carrier furnace, which I don't know of any other brands that do this, because it does have this door on the bottom section covering the blower motor, I know a lot of change out quotes that I go on, homeowners have their filters right next to the blower inside the cabinet. That's just a pet peeve of mine as a business owner and also as a person that changes filters in my house. I can't stand having to take off a furnace door plus another door to try to squeeze a filter in there. And also, it's so close to the blower motor right there, it has a tendency when the filters get full, it can suck it into the blower housing, which can also short out or ground out the motor. So now you've got a bad motor because you put a cheap filter, because that's all you can get in there in such a tight space so close to the motor. So as a standard with us, we always do an exterior filter rack. We either do a whole new box and insulate it on the outside, whether we have room or not, so each situation is different, or we do this exterior filter rack and reuse your same filter box that you have or plenum. It's got this handle right here where you can pull the filter in and out. So this would either go here and we would reattach your existing plenum or a whole new box. Also, when we are converting from the old R22 refrigerant to the new 410A, which 410A is only good through the end of this year, 2024, 2025, they're coming out with a new 454B, which has a lightly flammable element to it. It's called an A2L refrigerant, which I'm going to do another video in the future on that by itself because that's what's coming in the future. But this is an R11 acid flush kit that we use to when we're making a refrigerant change from R22 to 410A. Just because it's here on this system, I just want to point it out, it does not come with it. I have, for illustration purposes, for another class that I do, or for instructional videos, I have a Premier 1. It's an odor oxidizer. It also has a UV lamp that we place above the coil. Now that doesn't come standard with an install. Typically on my higher end systems where we sell it separate, but it does not come with a standard install. But UV light up top to help keep the microbials and bacteria and mold off the coil, and an odor oxidizer. You can also pair this up with a 1-inch polarized filter that can actually go in the place of your 1-inch filters in the rack. That actually clumps the bigger particles or the smaller particles into bigger particles, so that the filter will catch all the particles that it can, because it clumps them together. So quickly, I just want to run over here's your cheapest price wins. Okay, this is not that it's Goodman, because we install Goodman as our budget friendly, still a good system, but I'm just, for illustration purposes, just want to show you how most companies, if it's the cheapest price wins, they're not going to replace your drain pan, so it has a tendency to leak because it's old and rusted. They don't put in the water safety switches down at the bottom in the drain pan and up top in the coil. They don't acid flush lines out, so you can have contaminants in the lines. I can't tell you how many guys that I'll put this in their hands that have worked for other companies and they don't even know what it is. Have no idea what it's supposed to be used for, and they've worked for other companies. So I know a lot of companies don't even do that. But as you can see, just imagine the drain pan's rusted or whatever, it fills up with water. You got this brand new furnace that you just spent all this money on, and now water gets in there because there's no water safety switches or any protection whatsoever. It can pick up that water and just sling it up. Your furnace control board is right there. It'll short out your motor. I see it all the time on our service side. Happens at least a dozen times a year. So when you're just looking at price only, you may get it cheaper now, but it's going to cost you more down the road. A lot of it comes down to install. Just like I said, install, like using the RH11 flush kit. There's a specific way that this needs to be done. I'm not going to give away all of our secrets, but it sounds simple, but there's a specific way that this needs to be done to make sure it's done correctly. So like I said, we are a Carrier dealer. We also install Goodman, which is our still a good system, but it's our budget-friendly system. So being a Carrier dealer, we have to have more training. There's more involved in being a Carrier dealer. They just don't hand those out to anybody. So even with our Goodman products, you know that it's being installed correctly. This isn't like buying a car where they're all manufactured in one plant. This is pieces that comes from manufacturer that has to be installed in the field. So installation is key. And with me being the owner of the company, because it's my name out there, I take personal pride in that, to try to do the job right the first time, so we eliminate callbacks. So if you like to have more information about our company, please go to our website at www.supercoolguys.com. If you like our content, please support us by hitting the share, like, and subscribe button below. And remember, we're not super cool until you are.